My mother was just shy of 17 when I was born. Dad would point and say, "Son, with hard work, that road will take you anywhere."
So, progressive, adorable Jean Marie Lawson Spann, she did one of the biggest, hardest jobs, events that had happened during this campaign, one of the motherhood. Okay, she had a baby. Democratic Agriculture Commissioner nominee Jean Marie Lawson Spann, her husband Bobby Spann, are announcing the birth of their first child, 2015, July 3rd. So it's an Independence, 4th of July almost baby. It was the 2nd of July is when they actually signed the Independence. So it's actually perfectly nestled in between the day we celebrate and the day it actually was signed. Jean Marie Lawson Spann, she is, adorable.
Or my opponent, a young fella who recently has started magically sprouting gray hair from that barely 30-year-old head.
She's innocent but not naive. She's the type of woman that you would want to jump in front of. If there's a bullet or someone was you want to say, no! And actually, Ryan Quarles has blacked her eye. He has sued her, saying that they used her radio, TV show, whatever, to, I don't know, to vote for her. Well, big shocker, really. That's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to have your own radio show and say, oh, by the way, vote for me. You're not allowed to do that. So, I don't know. It's a fine line, so we'll see how that goes. But that's a lawsuit, and it's a technicality. He expects to win on a technicality. He's actually up a couple points. So he's blacked her eye. Ryan Quarles has blacked Jean Marie's eye, got her up on the ropes. But where is her husband? Where is her husband at? Bobby Spann. The name of the son is Lee Lawson Spann. He was born on a Thursday morning. Lawson Spann. They're keeping both of the last names, his last names and her last name. I like that she's devoted to her family, but he doesn't get his own last name. He gets basically one first name, Lee, and two last names. I will say this, actually, though. Mexicans do that a lot. They will hyphenate. They'll keep their mother's hyphenated name as their own, but they also get their own middle names, too. So maybe little Lee can get himself a middle name.
Hello, my name is Jean Marie Lawson Spann. I am the Kentucky Democratic Party nominee for Commissioner of Agriculture for the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Spann's father, Sam Lawson, said mother and child are fine, and she expects to return to campaigning pretty shortly. Spann has faced Republican nominee Ryan Quarles in the fall election. So, she's awesome. She's wonderful. If you ever looked at her, listened to her, here's a cowgirl, sweet, innocent. She's confident. She knows what she wants.
Thank you, Matt. Father Venters, Governor Beshear, my fellow Kentuckians. In the election for Commissioner of Agriculture, you have a clear choice. A choice between this 8th-generation Kentucky farm woman who has spent more than 20 years of building relationships to grow Kentucky agriculture.
She is in favor of labels, GMO labels, and he is not. These are two issues that they've defined their own campaigns about. And he says genetic modified, organisms don't have to be labeled. So if you go to the supermarket, you buy some beef, you buy some vegetables, you buy any type of food that was genetically modified, you have no idea. If there's no label on it, it's just basically a free-for-all, and she says that the label should be put on it that it's genetically modified. Now,
Or my opponent, a young fella who recently has started magically sprouting gray hair from that barely 30-year-old head.
Sort of 50-50 on GMOs. You can have a genetic modified organism and it turned out very good. If there is a sweet corn that you have been able to slice and dice and clone, and you come up with a strand of sweet corn that just provides, millions of years of corn, and it's so big and it's sweet and it's delicious and it's wonderful and it's healthy and it's okay, I don't see a problem with it. If you labeled it GMO, the public would just have to educate themselves on what GMO type things they're willing to put into their bodies. She is right to say that they should be labeled. Labeling doesn't stop people from buying them. It just lets people know what is genetically modified, what is not, when they go to the grocery store.
We will recruit agribusinesses from around the world to locate in Kentucky. This will be permanent local markets for our Kentucky farmers and good paying jobs for Kentuckians.
Also, she's actually bravely running in an advertisement of her that she supports medical marijuana. Currently, Kentucky has legalized it with CBD. Medical marijuana is currently legal in Kentucky. So Ryan Quarles' position is the position of, drawback, going backwards, sort of almost like Jack Conway in a sense.
My friend Herb Sparks from Metcalfe County says, this fella has spent so much time getting degrees that he doesn't know what he doesn't know.
He's saying he's against medical marijuana, even though CBD is already legal. So he's saying let's go back to, Conway would even make hemp. Industrial hemp has been legal for 4 years. He was against that because of his hatred for cannabis, for his hatred for marijuana. He was going to just kill industrial hemp when there's no rhyme or reason. There's no argument whatsoever against industrial hemp. It makes no sense. But Conway would even be against it. Ryan Quarles is for undoing the CBD law. He's not in favor of medical marijuana. And he says basically the same shit that James Comer was saying, that they want to protect their hemp industry and they don't want to taint it. Well, fuck that. The future is here. The future upon us. All Canada is going to be legalized. 4 states have done it. You're treating, there's a million arguments for it. All the places where the war on drugs has been implemented has been a failure, and everywhere that the alternatives have been implemented, it has been successful. So when all 12 alternatives, when 100 times over it hasn't worked, but 12 alternatives has worked splendidly and perfectly, we should do what one of the 12. There's 12 models out there for an alternative to the war on drugs. Even Jimmy Carter was for the decriminalization of cannabis. The idea has been out there for a long time. Schedule I narcotic. Bernie Sanders is going to take it a step down. So Jean Marie has brought, the medical marijuana debate into this discussion for Kentucky's leadership.
I have the real-life experiences to lead Kentucky agriculture forward. Culture accounts for over 1 out of every 5 jobs. Kentucky agriculture can be the answer in improving our Kentucky economy and in bringing good-paying jobs to our Commonwealth. My son Lee and all of Kentucky's children can live in Kentucky, go to school to Kentucky, and have access in fresh, nutritious food. If you want a Department of Agriculture that you can be proud of, I am your candidate. I have been preparing for this my entire life, and I will work hard to make you proud. My name is Jean Marie Lawson Spann. I'm Kentucky born, Kentucky educated, and Kentucky proud. I ask for your vote and your support. Thank you, and may God continue to bless our great Commonwealth of Kentucky.
And good for her. It makes me like her more, makes me want to go out and make sure I vote for her. And, what's not to love about Jean Marie Lawson Spann? I mean, maybe her 80s look, she's a little bit too 80s with the bangs and the haircut. She could get better. She could do better. I'm trying to find out where she's from and what county she is. This information isn't out there. I feel like the media has done a bad job, even Ballotopia and Wikipedia. I'm just not happy with how they're actually presenting all of them because I want to find out who the whole person is. Who is Jean Marie Lawson Spann? And, she's sweet, she's honest, she's nice, beautiful, gorgeous, right? But I think you can actually even look past that, but an innocent who can definitely rally. She could rally the men, she could rally the women, right? Or maybe not, I don't know. Maybe all the women would be jealous of her. She's so cute, thinks she's Miss Thing. So... couple more tidbits about Jean Marie. Jean Marie has graduated from Western Kentucky. So Western Kentucky University, she's a WKU alumni. So go fighting Western Kentucky mascot people. She got a marketing degree, so she has a bachelor's degree. She has been doing her radio show, which I actually see now that on Twitter. I don't know where it's at. It's radio, which, I don't know, maybe I should listen to radio more often.
It brought me some success in business and 2 boys of my own. I'm Adam Edlin. I look at things as a businessman, not a politician. As auditor, I'll make state government do more with less, and I'll crack down on any business or corrupt politician that wastes our tax dollars. And I'll never forget where I came from.
She's an 8th generation farmer from Barron and Edmonson counties, which is the western part of the state. Barron and Edmonson County, I think it's on the Green River. It's one of those Green River counties where Green River Indians had once lived. She worked with her family's business under the International Harvester and John Deere tractor dealerships, so she understands how to run a business and corporations need money in order to live. The Agricultural Commissioner of Kentucky is the largest regulatory body in the state of Kentucky. She makes a great point that one is to protect all the citizens through its regulatory sections, things like making sure that every fuel pump in the Commonwealth is pumping accurately so the citizens can have confidence that they get the full measure of the fuel for which they pay. And there was one pump, I remember in Breckenridge County, you'd pump and you had to make sure you turned it off. The thing just went up really fast. And it seemed like actually you didn't get all your gas. You don't know if the thing was even measuring right. It was an old pump, and it was bullshit. It was bullshit. It was like, here, all right, give me $20. $20. It didn't feel like it pumped $20. I don't have any scientific evidence to dispute that, but
Barack Obama didn't wait his term.
So let me be clear.
Now let me be clear. Now I'm a good Democrat. I want you to know that.
So she would do that. That's something the Agricultural Commissioner would do. And so, I think those are good regulations. If you want the gas pumps at gas stations to be pumping the amount of gas, the amount of, gallons and dollars that you actually pump accurately, you should vote for her. That's, in addition to the big GMO labels and pro-legal medical marijuana for cancer patients. Very specific. She's saying the same thing Matt Bevin's saying, in fact. But it's also what's legal right now, CBD, and with doctor approval, and with cancer. We're number one for cancer. Of course we need it. It's also number one cash crop, and we should have a right to our own bodies. We are only enriching the prosecutors and the white-collar mafia jailers, all the industry people to make more money on the war on drugs, plus the dealers. The fact that it's illegal, the price goes skyrocket. It gives an incentive. It gives a price incentive for people who are willing to take the risk. There is a lot of money to be made. And the way that you would stop that, the way you would cut the dealers at the knees would be to legalize it. You would also go after real crimes of, violence and hate and stealing instead of messing with people in a supposed free society and a society that says we're allowed to do what we want to our own bodies. So that's a million reasons why it's so fucking stupid and such bullshit. It's also callous, and it's not Christian, What happened to love? You're going to let your grandparents die of cancer? Ryan Quarles is going to let his parents die of cancer, just like Matt Bevin is going to kick 500,000 Kentuckians off Connect. That's Matt Bevin death panels, literal death panels. Get out of here. 500,000 Kentuckians. Go on home. Who cares? You don't get health care. You don't deserve to live. No, you got free health care. That's Obamacare. Get out of here. Get out of Dodge. Get out of town. Matt Bevin is against unions because he's against working class people. Germany does better in capitalism and in socialism, and that's where Kentucky needs to be. We need to have a better discussion. You need them both. You need them both. You need to care about the society, and you need to care about the individual. So we need to have businesses, and we need to be productive, but we also need to be caring about one another and having a good, sort of society, a brotherhood of people who give a shit. Can we try to give a shit? Kentucky, can we at least try to give a shit? Maybe this one time.
So let me be clear.
So let me be clear.
But let me be clear. Now let me be clear.
So let me be clear.
Now I'm a good Democrat. I want you to know that.
Obama needs Adam Edlin, a good Democrat. Kentucky needs Mike Harmon. Vote Mike Harmon for auditor.
We need to continue the renaissance of farm-to-table products. As commissioner, I'll promote urban agriculture, creating jobs and new opportunities for economic growth.
Never heard that before. So I'm basically going to break it down to just the counties that they come from, okay? He said Scott County and Franklin County is what Ryan Quarles said that he's from, Scott County, Franklin. We got 120 counties, and frankly, I think we should have 240. I think we should have as many local governments dissolve Frankfurt and just have counties control themselves. It's good for democracy. Localized communities. We're tribalistic anyways. This is our area, this is our town, this is how we do things. And if we want to stone a person every once in a while to sacrifice to our gods, that is our right as Bostonians or whatever. So Scott County, Franklin County were the two counties that Ryan Quarles said he was from, and Edmonton and Barron County were two counties that Jean Marie Lawson Spann said that she was from. So, okay, let's start off with just which one's better named, or I don't know, let's Barron County. Okay, so Barron County, it's not barren, it's actually very fertile. They got 42,000 people in Barron County. 42,000. It's a big-ass state, very important. It's south-central Kentucky, Barron County. The capital is Glasgow. Glasgow's Diane Sawyer. Okay. So Barron County is established 1798 from land given by Greene County, Warren County. 6 courthouses served the county throughout its history. The first were built of logs. Barron County was settled by the Scots. Irish still bears many cultural aspects that trace back to that heritage. So Scots-Irish, it's got a strong heritage. Barron is a prohibition. Okay, so that's crappy. The prohibition or dry county. I think Edmonton County is a prohibition too. Okay, so that's actually really bad. The Scott County and Franklin County are shitty counties compared to Edmonton and Barron County. Edmonton is a small county, 12,000. Barron County is pretty big, 42,000. Scott County, 51,000 people. Franklin County, which has got Frankfurt in it, is 49,000. So there's more people in Scott County, some with the county right above Franklin County actually, than there are in Franklin County. There's more people in Scott County, a different county that doesn't have our capital in it. So there's rich people in Scott County, right? So clearly Ryan Quarles is for the wealthy, for the rich, for the government people. I mean, that's his people. That's his neck of the woods. Western Kentucky is what James Comer said were the greatest people in the world. That's where Jean Marie Lawson Spann came from. She came straight up out of the cow shit. She is literally... You can't get no more Kentucky than Jean Marie Lawson Spann. She actually came up she's the rose that come up out of cow shit, whereas Ryan Quarles is the cow shit. So for Jean Marie Lawson Spann to be able to shine, she's got to be able to break through all these Ryan Quarles political fucking fake. Hey, look at me. He says he dug manure. He wasn't digging manure. It was so clean and crisp. Looked like a motherfucker ain't done dirty, job ever in his life. I want to see some grease, okay? You're agricultural commissioner. Wear some jeans. You're the farm, right? Do farm work. You're not wearing suit and ties to fucking work if you're a farmer. Jean Marie for Kentucky.com is going to be a high-impact, very good agricultural commissioner. She's a good, honest woman. She's innocent but not naive, so that is a blessing, not a curse. She knows what's going on, and she'll walk in honest. She'll walk in good and honest, and, if she sees things that shouldn't be going on, she'll be like, hey, okay, we got to change this. So that's a good thing. That can only help Kentucky out. Scott County, I don't know. I guess Scott County might be okay. I don't know. There's something. General Charles Scott, it's named after a revolutionary, so that's actually a good thing. Edmonton County was named after Captain John Jack Edmonton, who got killed at the Battle of Frenchtown. So actually, Edmonton County is named after a loser, an Indian fighter who got killed by the Indians. So he was not successful in doing the one thing that he was actually known for. He did get a county named after him, War of 1812. The Kentuckians marched all the way to Detroit and killed a bunch of Indians. And some of the Indians killed them. So, big shocker if you march really far away to attack some people, you know, at their fort, at their base, that they get pissed off and kill some of you back. Edmonson County, kind of an embarrassing name. Like, seriously, they should totally change the name. Barron County, Barron, I mean, come on. To name one of the best places to live in rural America, so that's pretty good. Yeah, you have to change. There's a couple letters on your courthouse. That's okay. You can name yourself the, you know, Super County or something, the Cool County, Super Cools. So if you want to be super cool, then just name yourself Super Cool, and then eventually fake it till you make it, right? People will go to the Super Cool County versus the Barren. Is that like barren? It's empty and desolate. Don't come here, but really it's a paradise. If so, that's very tricky. Barron County is prohibition or dry county with two exceptions, Glasgow and Cave City. But they've already believed in prohibition. These counties believe in prohibition with alcohol. They haven't even got past, you know, the amendments, right? The 29th, the 30th Amendment, or something, 19th Amendment. I don't know. One of the Prohibition Amendment, then the Repeal Prohibition Amendment. That's Scott County native George W. Johnson was elected provisional Confederate governor. Good job, Scott County. Yeah, you provided the biggest terrorist against, you know, everything that's good and decent in society. Pro-slavery, pro-abuse, pro-murder, if they want to get a pro-rape. That's who Scott County was able to create in 1861. So that's the county where Ryan Quarles comes out of, Scott County. So General Charles Scott's pretty cool. It's a big county. It's got more people than Frankfort. It gives me the impression that it's a rich county. They have 92% white, you know, big shocker, right? Very lily white, 92 translucent white, see-through. Basil Duke, Basil fucking, so Confederates galore. Scott County give probably birth to the, you know, the Confederacy, the president, and you got the Basil Duke and Robert Ward Johnson, right? He was the nephew to an Indian killer, but he was a Confederate senator. Okay, all right. Scott County, I'm kind of sick of you guys already. So Franklin County, named after Ben Franklin, one of the three originals. It's got Frankfort. I mean, it's got Frankfort in it, so of course it's a major place. Edmonson County, it's quaint. It's 12,000 people. That's the kind of county I would like to be in, a small, quaint county. Now, they got a bigger racial issue, 99% white Edmonson County, so backwards, rural, stupid, retarded. So when they changed it from Edmonson County to Super Cool County, you know, you can be super cool by not being racist. Hey, you're racist, that's not cool. But you're against racism, that's super cool. So 99% white, they got way more white people, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with having white people. It's just that when you're not around other cultures, you'll see one, you know, black person and be like, that's how all black people are. And that's not the case. In fact, they're probably scared shitless and probably just telling you whatever it is you want to hear. Yeah, sure, I don't have a problem with the N-word. Oh, Barack, worst president ever. So, you know, there's poverty, maybe. Yeah, 19%, 18% is poor in Edmonson County. So they got, you know, 12,000, 40%, 20%, what did I say? 18%. So thousands of people are in poverty in Edmonton County. We can work on that. They do have transportation, water, tower, roads, highways, attractions. Mammoth Cave is in Edmonton County. And they have the Edmonton News. Sometimes they have a Freedom Fest or a fair. So you should vote for Jean Marie Lawson, because Edmonton County, the super cool county, one day, you know, has a fair and Freedom Fest, which actually does sound really fucking cool. At the Chandler B.A. Sports Complex. So late June next year, be at the Freedom Fest, Edmonton County. Vote for Jean Marie.